is mock draft time, NBA fans. We're in the swing of the NBA season, but that does not stop us from talking about some NBA draft rumors. And ESPN actually released their first mock draft of the 2026 cycle in November, just at the end of the month. And I thought it's a good time to revisit, talk about it, and if things have changed to this point. So if the draft order looks a little bit different, well, that might be why. But we're going to get right into it with the Brooklyn Nets owning the first overall pick in this mock draft and going with Kansas guard Darryn Peterson. And I could not agree more with ESPN's Jeremy Woo. I think Darryn Peterson is the best prospect in this class. And I know everyone's going to say there's not that much of a difference between the top three of Dybansta, Boozer, and Peterson. I disagree. I think Dybansta and Peterson are slightly off. I think Darryn Peterson is the best one in this class with a small tier break for Boozer and Dybansta at that 2-3 range right now. He is a do-it-all combo guard, and whoever lands the first overall pick would be extremely happy, in my opinion, to be able to land the Kansas star officially back on the court as well after missing some time with a hamstring injury. Number 2, the Washington Wizards went with AJ Dybansta in this mock draft. The forward from BYU has just continued to shine for the Cougars. And as we're filming this, it happened just after he went nuts, dropping 22 points in the second half, 28 in the ball game to lead BYU in a 22-point comeback in MSG against the Clemson Tigers. Robert Wright hit a game-winning crazy three in that one as well. Dybansta has shown the ability to get to the rim at all times. Now, when you're evaluating his game, there is a concern in terms of his shot profile. Doesn't take a ton of threes. He doesn't need to, but he doesn't take a lot in the mid-range, and his defensive intensity lacks at times as well. But the raw talent is absolutely there, and he will be a top 3 pick in the NBA draft. The Utah Jazz at number 3 go with Cam Boozer, and I've seen some discussion on Boozer as of late. Some people believe that his game won't translate to the NBA level, at an elite level, that is, because a lot of what he does is bullying his opponents inside at the paint, and he has struggled to finish with his left hand at times. But when I watch him against the top competition, he has continued to impress me. He did it against Michigan State this past week on a true road game. He went and had a monster game against Tom Izzo's Spartans. Yes, his game isn't that, like, isolation, I'm going to go get you a bucket type of, like, I don't want to call it hezzy, like, AAU hoops, but that's the truth. Like, he's not doing the step-back jumpers. He plays his own style, but his own style is absolutely dominant. He is still an elite defensive prospect as well. Cam Boozer is still a really high-level guy, and it would be a perfect pick for whoever is in the top 3 or 5 of this NBA draft. Make sure you go follow us over on social media. @ChatSports is the handle for our Twitter. Go get some more action, whether it's football, whether it's basketball. We have 15.7 thousand followers. Go give us another one today. Number 4 here for Tennessee is Nate Ament going to the Indiana Pacers. And I got to be honest, I'm not the biggest Nate Ament fan. I just don't think that he has really the tools to be an elite guy. We've seen him so far at Tennessee kind of struggle in terms of getting to the rim, getting to the free throw line. He has a poor shot diet, and he hasn't been efficient either. I think this is a prospect that has a lot of raw tools, but when you're looking at the overall aspect of the draft, I don't think deserves to go number 4. I would much rather go in a different direction, like in this mock draft, Caleb Wilson, the forward from North Carolina, going to the Atlanta Hawks here at number 5. I just don't think that Ament should be going over Wilson. Now, there are flaws in Caleb Wilson's game as well. There's no debate about that. He hasn't really showcased an ability to space the floor and shoot the 3. He hasn't really shown the ability to take people off of the dribble and be an initiator in the offense. He more or less has really dominated in the low and mid post and at the rim, especially on the offensive glass. But his length, his athleticism, and his ability to defend multiple positions certainly make him an intriguing prospect inside the top 10. The Sacramento Kings at number 6 go with Mikel Brown Jr., the guard from Louisville. I'm a big fan of Mikel Brown. I think this kid's going to be a stud at the next level, and I would absolutely love the fit for the Sacramento Kings, who have been searching for a guard in the last 365 days ever since they made the decision to trade De'Aaron Fox to the San Antonio Spurs. Brown has been tantalizing for the Louisville Cardinals, working hand-in-hand with Ryan Conwell, the transfer from Xavier, which has Louisville as a top 15 team in the NCAA this season. Brown's got good size. He's got a handle. He can get to the rim. He can take you off the dribble. He can hit shots off the dribble as well as off the catch. There is a lot to like in Mikel Brown Jr. Sign me up for a big fan of his. Charlotte Hornets here, pick number 7. Go with Chris Cenac Jr., the forward/center out of Houston, the true freshman. And I would actually really like this fit. Now, you can argue that there are better players on the board and maybe even a better center on the board, who we'll get to here in just one second. But there's a lot of optimism and ceiling with Cenac. He can defend. He can even space the floor a little bit. We know the Charlotte Hornets desperately need a big man of the future. I like what they've done going with Knepel, going with Brandon Miller. Ryan Kalkbrenner looks like a solid rotation big man, but they need that franchise caliber center. And maybe there's even a world where you could play Cenac at the 4 and Kalkbrenner at the 5. I think it's a beautiful fit, but I do need to see more from Cenac this season because there is a lot left to be desired, but his ceiling is extremely, extremely high. At number 8 here, the Dallas Mavericks. If this held, this would be an absolute steal. Peat has been one of my favorite players to watch in the NBA draft kind of cycle this year. He has the Arizona Wildcats at number 1 in the NCAA. Big matchup with Alabama this upcoming Saturday as well. Peat can get to the rim. He can rebound. He can defend. I actually think he's better than Caleb Wilson, who went just a couple picks early in this mock draft, but those two, I think, have a very similar play style. Not a ton from the perimeter. Most of the damage done at the rim, on the glass, defensively. But Peat is absolutely phenomenal. Could you imagine a Cooper Flagg Peat front court duo defensively? Oh, my goodness. It would piss me off because I'm not a big Mavs guy. But, boy, that would be really fun to watch in the city of Dallas. More coming here. Who is your favorite NBA draft prospect? Who's the guy? Is it one of the top 3? Is it someone else? My guy hasn't been named yet. I'll tell you when we get there. He is going to be a first-round pick, though. Number 9, the Memphis Grizzlies went with Jayden Quaintance in this mock draft. Now, this is an intriguing player because true freshman, Arizona State last season, was dominating in the non-con, but ultimately suffered a torn ACL. Transfers to Kentucky and is yet to play. Now, all reports show that Quaintance is really close to being back on the court, which is just beautiful for NBA and college basketball fans because Kentucky's been pretty bad earlier this year. But with Quaintance coming back, that might elevate them here. He is one of the best shot blockers. He's one of the best rebounders. And if he returns and plays extremely well in SEC conference play and shows no hindrance coming off of a torn ACL, yeah, he's absolutely going to be a lottery pick and in the running for top center taken in this draft class. At number 10, the OKC Thunder, who get this pick via the Los Angeles Clippers, by the way, went Dame Sarr. And I'm going to disagree with Jeremy Wu on this one vehemently here. Sarr had a lot of promise coming from Italy as a true freshman to Duke. But the truth is, at this point in the college basketball season, he has not really been that productive. He really hasn't been that important to the Duke Blue Devils' success to this point. And it's clear to me that he needs to return to college for another season. So to me, I don't think Sarr is even going to come out in this draft class. I think he goes back to school. And even if he did come out, I don't think he would be a top 10 pick. That one's a weird one for me. Rattle off a couple picks here. Karim Lopez for the Memphis Grizzlies, who is a solid, can-do-it-all wing international prospect playing in New Zealand right now, but originally from Mexico. With the Grizzlies having 2 potential picks in the lottery, I could see them going with a high upside guy here in Lopez. And with the 12th pick, the Blazers go with Neoklis Avdalas, the guard/forward from Greece, played at Virginia Tech. They call him Luka Doncic light because of his ability to make step-back threes, the way he moves on the court. He's got a lot of size. He's a gifted passer. I'm not going to go that far with the Luka Doncic cop, but there is similar of a play style there. He is continuing to elevate his teammates in Virginia Tech. And if he has a good conference kind of performance in the ACC this year, he absolutely could end up going inside the top 10. Here at 13, the Chicago Bulls get Braylon Mullins. And boy, I am a major fan of Mullins. He missed the first 2-3 weeks of the season with an injury for the Huskies, but he has come back and he has really elevated the UConn ceiling this year. The Huskies are national championship threats once again, and I think this guy is going to be the X factor. He can make things happen off the dribble. He's their best off-the-ball shooter. Him and Solo Ball are dangerous, coming off these pin downs, coming off these curls, coming off these screens. Mullins didn't get a lot of run in the game on Tuesday night against Florida, which UConn won again, by the way, because of foul trouble. But he's a willing defender. He doesn't shy away, and he is a shooter. I really like Braylon Mullins, and I think there's a lot of upside in his playmaking as well. It would be a great selection for the Chicago Bulls. At number 14, the Milwaukee Bucks went with Darius Acuff Jr., the true freshman for Arkansas. I like Darius Acuff a lot. I just think there needs to be more effort on the defensive end at this point for him, but he's got a great athletic profile. Him and Malik Thomas, who we'll get to here in just a bit, have really been solid for Arkansas to this point, but there needs to be more from Darius Acuff, in my opinion. But I don't hate the fit because there's going to need to be a lot of overhaul from a youth perspective for the Milwaukee Bucks. That was the lottery. We'll have the post-lottery picks here from ESPN in a second, but this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. It's the holiday season. You have playoff pushes, basketball matchups, bowl games, and while you and I are out here making decisions every day, what gifts to buy, what to eat, what game to watch, there's one place where it feels good to be right. That is Prize Picks. You can put any player you want in your lineup up to 3 times. You want to go more than on Steph Curry threes, assists, fantasy score? Well, now you can. Just pick more or less, and at least 2 player stats. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. And with some cup action today, I'm going more than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander points, 31.5, and less than on Luka Doncic points, rebounds, assists, 51.5. We'll see who advances in the cup tonight when those 2 different matchups. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. At 15, the Boston Celtics go with Thomas Haugh, the forward from Florida. Now, this is an interesting one because this is one of those high floor level players, high feel type of guys. Like, you would never expect him to be a flat out star or an all-star level guy at the next level. But is he going to be someone that does anything and everything to help you win a ball game on any given night? Absolutely. He is much more in that mold. He can rebound. He can shoot the three. He can defend. He doesn't do anything at an elite level, but he does everything at a very high level, which makes him an intriguing high floor player here in the first round. I mentioned that my favorite player in the draft is coming up. This would be where he goes. Labaron Philon Jr. I have him as a top 10 player in this draft class. I am very fond of the guard from Alabama. You saw him as a true freshman last season get a lot of run in important minutes for the Crimson Tide, working alongside Mark Sears and company. Now he's the starting point guard, and he is just flat out dominated for the Tide and Nate Oates. He has a great blend of speed, size. He can get to the rim. He gets to the free throw line. He has improved his three-point shot. He could have been a late first-round pick last year, anywhere between like 17 and 25. This year, I think he's going to be a lottery pick. I think this is a little low. Now, if you're the Raptors, you would be very happy with falling and getting him here with the 16th overall pick. But I think Philon, when it's all said and done, is in the lottery, but top 10 specifically. At number 17, the guard/forward Tunde Yesufu from Baylor goes to the Charlotte Hornets. Yesufu has really impressed me because he came into this year as a true freshman as someone who is advertised as an elite rebounder, a unbelievable athlete, and a great play finisher, which all of those things have been proven true, by the way. But we've even seen him have some success shooting the three. In a game just last week for Baylor, he went 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. If he continues to showcase his three-point shooting, then that's going to make teams very bullish on his ability to long-term and could have him sliding into the top 10 in late lottery. The Warriors with pick number 18 go with Yaxel Lenderborg, the forward/center from Michigan. And my goodness, the Michigan Wolverines are just obliterating everybody in their path right now. They are the number one team in college basketball in terms of almost every single offensive metric. They are only third in all of college basketball in terms of their ranking. They just came off a 40-point win against the Villanova Wildcats. I'll tell you what, though. Lenderborg could have been a late first-rounder last year, similar to Labaron Philon, turned it down, ultimately went back to school, got a big-time bag in the transfer portal from Michigan, and he's leading them. He can do it from the outside. He can do it from the inside. Yaxel Lenderborg has really showcased why he can be a first-round pick, and I expect him to certainly get some consideration in this first round, whether it's late lottery or just outside the lottery. I'm going to disagree with this one, and I think most people will as well. Kingston Flemings, the true freshman guard from Houston. He has really taken over as one of those lead guards for, Samson. Yeah, I spaced on the coach's name. Samson in Houston. Him and Miles Uzen, who's been really good for them in his career. I think Flemings is going to be a lottery-type guy, too. Now, if you're the Miami Heat at 19, Flemings is there. You're ecstatic because you probably need a long-term guard who can defend and play make like they have in Davion Mitchell, but someone a little bit more offensively talented. Flemings is a really good prospect, man. I think he's going to end up going lottery as well. Bennett Sturts, the veteran, going to the Minnesota Timberwolves here at pick number 20. Transfer from Drake, started at D2 with his head coach, Ben McCullum. They both go from D2 to Drake. Then they both go from Drake to Iowa. Now, Iowa got absolutely pummeled by Michigan State in conference play as they went to East Lansing. Another big-time opportunity for Iowa. They play the Cyclones this week. Sturts, really crafty, plays at his own speed, will be a solid backup point guard at the next level. I don't know if he could be a star or a lead guy, but backup, absolutely. At 21, the San Antonio Spurs go with the big man from Washington, Heinz Steinbach. Little Lauri Markkanen in his game, man. I tell you what, you look at him, and you can tell he looks like him. He can space it. He can rebound it at a very high level, and he's a solid finisher inside as well. The Washington Huskies are watchable because of Heinz Steinbach. That would be a nice big man to add to the rotation for the San Antonio Spurs. And if you want more content on the NBA draft, this is the channel for you. Hit that sub button. We're going to have you loaded up with trade rumors and NBA draft talk every single week, going every single week. So hit that sub button. Isaiah Evans from Duke going to the Pistons here at number 22. I think he has really elevated himself as the second best player on the Duke Blue Devils. Had a big-time shot against Florida, which ultimately secured that win for the Blue Devils at home just a week and a half ago. He could have been a first-round pick last year. You've heard me say that about a couple guys here, but that has happened a lot. People turned down late first-round pick buzz last year to maybe make their name higher this year. Evans can shoot it. He's a solid defender. I think he ultimately does leave Duke this season, doesn't turn down the opportunity to be a first-round pick in back-to-back years. Dash Daniels, the younger brother of Daniels over at the Atlanta Hawks, Dyson Daniels, that is, the guard from Australia. He's been falling down boards. I thought he could have been a late lottery guy coming into the year, but he's been kind of passed by some of these other college prospects. Plus, his efficient play has taken a dip overseas, but the defensive talent is there, similar to his brother. It's all about if the offensive game could ultimately come aboard. At number 24, the Cleveland Cavaliers go with a Day Mara from Michigan. And yeah, there's two Michigan big men here going to the first round. It's why they've been elite. They've been dominating every team on the interior, on the glass, just putting so much pressure on the rim. Mara has really shown some ability to finish as well as the footwork he possesses. Big fan of his game, and the Cavs looking at a third center or maybe move off of Jared Allen at some point. Could find the replacement, Udin Mara. Another big man, Zuby Ejiofor. Big Zoo, baby, from St. John's. He has shown some increased ability to step out beyond the arc and make some shots. Ejiofor is arguably the most consistent scorer on that St. John's team. And if the Johnnies want to go all the way this season under Rick Pitino, I think Ejiofor is the guy that could take them there. He is someone that's really big, rebounds really well. He'll find a spot in the NBA. Is he a late first-round pick? I don't know, but he certainly will have a NBA role in his future. At number 26, the Knicks went Miles Bird here. I don't think I'm a big Miles Bird guy. He has a really strong physical profile in terms of his wingspan, and he's been a good defender in his career, but he's really never elevated his offensive game for the Aztecs. I think he's a fine early to middle second-round pick, and maybe the Knicks just say, all right, we like him, we'll take him late first, but I'm not a big fan of Miles Bird. Malik Thomas, the other true freshman guard for the Razorbacks, goes here to the Atlanta Hawks at number 27. This pick is via the Cleveland Cavaliers, by the way. Thomas has good length. He's big. He shows no fear. He is as confident as they come. And you watch the Arkansas Razorbacks play, by the way, you'll see Malik Thomas, you'll see Darius Acuff stand out immediately. Number 28, Alex Condon, the big man from Florida, heading the OKC Thunder. Condon, excellent shot blocker, really times up his defensive jumps well. He knows how to win. He rebounds the ball well. This would just be a nice little high-floor guy for the Thunder at the end of the first round. Not going to complain there. And a similar limelight, Joseph Tugler, a.k.a. JoJo Tugler. I don't think that he's going to come out this year. I really don't. He hasn't improved enough offensively, in my opinion, for him to come out. Because the way this guy defends, protects the rim, and rebounds, he could be a lottery pick if he had any offensive ability. I think there's a chance maybe that he returns back to Houston for a third year, fourth year, and looks to improve his offensive bag and ultimately become a lottery pick. I mean, we'll see, but I really like Tugler defensively. There just needs to be more on the offensive end. And the last pick here, forward from Arizona, Dwayne Aristode. The Washington Wizards need to take high-level talent. Can they find it here in Dwayne Aristode? Maybe. We'll see. But that is the first round mock draft from ESPN. First one of the year. Grade it for me. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. And I'll wrap up by saying this. This draft class is extremely talented, man. It is so good from top to bottom. In past years, you got a guy like Yaxel Lenderborg here, who could have been a first-round pick. He's going 18th. You got guys like Darryn Peterson, who would have been in the conversation. I probably would have had him going number 1 in the draft last year over Cooper Flagg. That is how strongly I feel about Darryn Peterson. I think Flagg is still better than like a Boozer or a AJ Dybansta, and Dylan Harper would have been in that same realm. But you got so many high-level true freshmen, guys from overseas. I think if you're a fan of an NBA team that's picking in the lottery this year, you should be very excited because the chances of you landing someone who could change your franchise and be an all-star level guy are very, very high, whoever that may be. All right, that will officially do it. We told you to follow us over on social media earlier. If you want to follow me as well, my handle is in the comments and at the bottom of your screen, @Nick_Roloff.